Hi everybody, this is David Lee. Welcome back to my garage. Today we're going to talk a little bit about cars and investments. So stay tuned, subscribe, and hit like. So you may ask, how do I start collecting cars? Well, at first it began with a passion. I always had kind of the weekend car like many of you had. I had a Lamborghini, then I changed to a Ferrari, and it was a mid-engine Ferrari. And as I was buying it and enjoying it, but I was worried about the investment of it, the depreciation, so I didn't drive it a lot. And I felt robbed because when I sold the car, I lost money, as you would, but I didn't really drive it a lot. Put very little miles on it. So I was always upset about that. One time I had thought, well, why don't I buy ones that don't depreciate? The ones that will appreciate. So I ended up kind of buying my first over $1 million car, which is an Enzo. I remember 10 years ago, I had bought that. And then I had an idea to buy kind of the trifecta of the great cars. Porsche Carrera GT, I had bought that. And I bought a Lamborghini Diablo 6.0. So I had those three cars, the best cars from each brand, cars that go up in value or at least maintain the value, and I can drive it and not be worried about it. Then about, I would say probably 8 years ago, I went to my friend's Christmas party and he showed me something cool. I said, what is it? And it was a classic car. It had a Jaguar E-Type convertible. Needed some work, but it was pretty cool. A classic car never appealed to me in the past. That time it did, maybe because I'm older, I appreciate old and antique type of things. By the end of the night, I was determined to go ahead and buy a classic car for myself, but I wanted to buy a Ferrari. I started looking into it, researching it, and I ended up saying, okay, well, I think I would buy a 1965 275 GTS. There was 199 made in the beginning. It was a convertible, front engine V12, very cool. In the process of looking for that car, obviously I saw other cars. And in the process of looking for that car, I found an idea that came to my mind. I said, what's better than buying something that is beautiful to look at, like an art piece? And any of my cars, or the cars, are really can be considered an art piece. Second, you can get in there, drive it, rev it, take it on the road, and it's very exhilarating. You get this kind of engagement with it, right? And have fun with it. I said, that's great. And if you look at the chart of the cars, at least for Ferrari, it's a incline of the value of the cars from the beginning until now. So it's an investment, it appreciates. So I said, what's better than that? There's something great to look at, you can drive it and have fun with it, and it goes over value. So that was kind of an idea that I thought, well, maybe I'll go ahead and just invest in Ferraris. And I did that. When I invest, I do have a strategy. I just don't buy the cars I like. Again, I told you I bought an Enzo. So I said, well, Enzo's a supercar. It will go up in value. I didn't know at that time how much it would go up in value, because the last 5 years it really gotten crazy, and the values increased double or 2.5, 3 times even in some cases. I said, okay, I had the Enzo. Well, why don't I collect kind of that family of it? Because I always like to tell a story. So you got the Enzo, then I went and got the F40, then I was able to get the F50, then I went to get the 288 GTO, eventually the LaFerrari. So I had that lined up, that how I went to collect the rest of them as a story, and they were all great investments. It wasn't easy to find all of them, but it was fun trying to do it. Now on the other classic side, my 1965 275 GTS, I thought of the idea of maybe collecting the convertible road cars. So my next one was a 1967 330 GTS. There were only 99 made, so that was the next one. And then I had bought a 365 Daytona Spider, which is also convertible. I had the 3 of those for a while. So I had the classic convertible cars theme and the supercar theme. Then I thought, well, to buy the new cars, there's going to be new limited editions coming out. So as I buy them new, I buy them at MSRP. Those will one day become the special cars that I have now, that I bought at market price, but I can buy at kind of MSRP, the starting price. Why would a dealer do that? Well, you have to be a good customer for them. You have to support them. You have to buy kind of all their cars, so that when they have special editions come out, they will offer to you. And that's what I did. And at that time, my motto was, I'm just only going to invest in Ferrari. Now, I can only drive Ferrari, and I drive Ferrari 7 days a week. The thought around that was, I'd rather be important to the one brand than not very important with many brands. A lot of guys have many different cars, which is great, but it's hard to be a really supportive and strong customer for a particular brand if you start buying everything. If you kind of put your resources to buy one particular brand, then they will see you as a very loyal and very devoted customer. So that's kind of the thought process I went with that. Nobody can predict the future, whether you're stock market or you're in real estate, or in this case, investing in collectible cars. I was lucky that I was able to buy it because of my passion and because of some other reasons that it did go up. So let me tell you about some of the reasons. Not all Ferrari cars will go up, have that potential. You have to research, you have to study, you have to know which models that are considered limited, considered desirable, considered valuable, and it might be more money. Let's say there's one that's lower money, but it's not as limited, or it's more available. To buy it because of the money with it, it might not have been a good investment decision. Even though it's more money, but you know it's more limited, less produced, more valuable. Maybe the curve, you've seen it go up and down, you know that there's a possibility of it going higher in the future. And granted, you know, there's only more and more people in this world getting more wealthy and wanting to buy Ferrari. So the long-term goal, for sure, it's gonna go up. There's only so many cars that they've produced, they can't produce more. I also plan for the long term, and the long-term investment strategy is how I saw that. Lose of competition. It's a race car, it has heritage, it's a special car, there's probably 4 existing right now. So I believe that that will be a valuable car in the future. You know, the 1967 275 GTB 4-cam. I had a 275 GTB long nose, 6 carb, and that was great. I sold it. I upgraded to buy the 275 GTB 4-cam because that's the holy grail of road car Ferrari. Everybody considered that it, and it's always really appreciated and popular, and people want to buy it. And I believe there's a long-term goal of that going up as well. The next model, 330 GTS, the convertible, 1967. I had bought that car, I had sold it, I had bought it back again, and I love that car to drive. It was only 99 made. And platinum quality, mine was a triple platinum car, 100-point car before. It really has that kind of quality you can't get. Quality really matters as far as the price and the value. So when you have a good quality car, it's gonna go a long way, and people always want good quality. When you have money, you're not gonna buy a bad quality car or a so-so. You want the best. So you collect the best, because when I sell it, people expect that it's gonna be the best. I've also taken it to different Ferrari concourses that won Best of Show, Platinum Score, Cavallino, all kinds of stuff, Pebble Beach. That helps the pedigree of the car, makes the car more valuable. When I bought my first over $1 million car, you know, the taxes in some states, in our state, was like 10%. So that was a lot. You know, $1 million, it's $100,000. You can buy another car with the tax. So I thought, what is the correct legal way to go about avoiding that? Especially if you buy it and you want to sell it, you're not going to get that. That's going to be part of your cost. You're not going to get that back. So I decided, after some research, that anybody really could apply for a dealer license. When you apply for a dealer license, you go to, assuming you've gone through all the proper tests, all the requirements are fulfilled, you have a place that qualifies, you could be a dealer license, which means you can buy cars without paying sales tax, because it's for resale and so forth. Insurance is a big aspect of it. So if you buy insurance, collector's insurance, they may limit the miles, you don't drive it so much. If you buy it regular, it's just too much money if it's a very valuable car. So dealer insurance is the best lucrative way, the lowest price way to buy the insurance, because it's a business. They expect its inventory coming in and going out. It's just much more reasonable. It's still a lot of money because it's still part of the value. They calculate by the value of the cars, but at least it's definitely cheaper than if you were to buy it individually, like a regular, insurance. personal insurance, or if you buy by collector's insurance where limited miles, and you really can't then you have this insurance but you can't enjoy the cars. So obviously the values of these cars have gone up quite a bit. For example, when I bought the Ferrarienzo, I thought it was a lot of money. It was over $1 million, and I took care of it because each car is like an investment. It's like a property. You don't buy a real estate property and not maintain it. So cars, same thing. But I bought that car, and of course, as I'm enjoying it, but as the value's gone up, that car, I would safely say that it had gone up 2.5 times what I paid for it. I bought it at market price. I didn't buy it the lowest. I wasn't at a level where they would give me that car at MSRP. I would have made even more money. And actually, throughout the times, the car had been valued even lower. But when I bought it, it was market price. My F50, I had bought it from an auction, Gooding auction. So bidding for it and everything, there was people that wanted bid it. I paid the most, I got the bid. I bought the car. That car had gone up 3 times the value. So that was amazing. My F40, when I bought it from private, it was a lot of money. But today, it's at least double what I paid for it. The 280 GTO I had to buy from Italy. That car's 2.5 times the value. A lot of people ask how much is the estimate of my garage. It's hard to say, especially some of the classic cars, if they've been sold before you have a market price. You can gauge the similar quality and what is my quality and what is the value. So the comps, this comp. There's some cars that have never been sold because they're so rare. So you never know what is the potential value of that car. But I would have to say, I would say it's close to, it fluctuates because I buy and sell cars, but it fluctuates from 40 to 50 million, I would say. As you guys might have seen, I received a good car, a 488 Pista Spire, so that's an investment car, that's a very limited car. I do know that what that's coming in is a F8 Spider, which is a great production car that I will enjoy, maybe not keep, I'll have fun with it. It's not limited, so it's not much of an investment car. The Roma, that I've ordered, which is a replacement of the Portofino, it's a great car too, very interesting, but I don't think also that's one I will keep. And the SF90 I also will be getting, and that seems to be more of a special car, one that I probably will keep. And so I look forward to getting those in the 812 GTS. There's investment cars for various brands at various price points. You don't have to just buy Ferraris. But what I would suggest is you would really have to do the research, understand what is the history of that car, is it a good quality, in the timeline of its existence, of that model's existence, how has the pricing been, to study it. Because when you buy these classic cars, I think that's out there. Sometimes you have to kind of talk to yourself, because sometimes you say, well, I want the new car because it's exciting and people will know. But the classic car, maybe it's better investment. So you may have to sometimes struggle in finding yourself what is really important to you. Is it the investment? Is it the recognition? Is it the passion? Because it's all a matter of how you think. If you think a classic car is cool and you drive it there, then it's cool. You don't need to necessarily what other people think. Maybe it's even more special. But that is important. Because if you buy maybe a new car just because it's fast, it's new, you get it in recognition, but you don't get it in the investment side. You don't get it in the appreciation. My collecting strategies could be different than a lot of people. I have this idea of not having more than 30 cars because I'm also passionate about driving them. I'd rather have more important cars in my 30 car collection than just a lot of cars. A lot of cars, doesn't mean so much to me as it would if they're special. They have appreciation value and they are exhilarating to drive. I want to be able to drive at least once a month to keep the cars healthy, and that's how I see also my personal strategy. But everybody's got to develop that for yourself. Whatever is right for you, that's how you have to have it and stick to it. But the cars, I fluctuate. I sell some, I buy some, I upgrade some. I see an opportunity, I buy it. So it's always very fluid, but it's approximately I keep about that many cars. But let's go ahead and check out what we have in our store. Here we have Rolex. Here we have Cartier, Piaget, which is a very great diamond brand. Panerai, known for its involvement with Italian Navy. It's quite a popular brand, quite a cult following. And a lot of people love it, the simple and just old military style. So we're glad to be there on Price Dealer as well.